Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. This week, the Town Council's decision to approve funding for a new $2 million aquatic center in East Brunswick was met with a room full of applause. This week's show features that story and more news of the council meeting held Monday night. Information for members of nonprofit organizations about how to make the most of local access TV is coming up. An emotional farewell for a very popular principal. And the recent combined chorus performance at the high school. These stories and more this week, including a reminder about the importance of testing for heartworms on your pet doctor. But first, here's a preview of programming next week, the first week of March on Channel 8. Start the month off right and move your mood with a half hour of exercise Monday morning at 10 with Lenore Kulik. That's on Look Great, Feel Great. At 10:30, it's Stories from the Library, a program produced in cooperation with the Youth Services Department of the library. Tuesday night's lineup includes You and Your Money at 7:30. Paul Hansen talks with CPA Glenn Barrell about tax planning for 1993. At 8 o'clock, Judith Lebline explores the detailed world of doll collecting on Exercise the Right Choice. She speaks with Arlene Shapiro, owner of Meyer's Toy Store, about everything from the ever-popular Barbie to some very unusual and expensive collector's pieces. Wednesday night, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. John Kopko, enjoys a conversation with two high school students and a member of the class of 1990. That's on Spotlight on Education at 7:30. At 8 o'clock on 18, Dr. Blaise Toto talks to kids at Bishop R. High School about the dangers of steroids. This Week in East Brunswick returns Thursday night at 7 and 8 o'clock, and sandwiched in between at 7:30, it's Let's Talk Health. Steve Sackman investigates biofeedback training with clinician Dr. Richard Bruner and volunteer subject Ann Cerullo. Check the Channel 8 Community Bulletin Board for Saturday's recast schedule and for information about local events. A huge crowd of township residents came to Monday night's council meeting to witness the approval of funds to construct a family aquatic center in East Brunswick. The council voted 4-1 to appropriate $2 million in bonds for a complete renovation of the community beach on Dunham's Corner Road. The current facility is a brownwater lake, which has been costing the township about $100,000 each year for capital costs alone. The township estimated that it would also have to spend close to $400,000 in order to make the existing beach compatible with the recently enacted Americans with Disabilities Act. Keeping these factors in mind, the Blue Water Aquatic Facility Oversight Committee commissioned a study to determine how residents would feel about a $2 million complete renovation. The committee, the mayor, and town council received overwhelming support for the project. Of the 150 residents who came to watch the vote, over 20 of them offered their support.
I rise to support the adoption of the ordinance. I think it's long overdue. I would like to thank the mayor and Mr. Block, who have completed the most recent study. I think they did an excellent job of laying out the various options, surveying the community, and getting a great deal of input in that area.
Presentation was given to the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce Liaison Committee of this facility, and the general feeling of the committee was this was the cost of it was reasonable for the caliber of the facilities, that the monies from a business standpoint could be easily recovered and made a lot of sense. From the standpoint as far as the quality of East Brunswick to the residents, as well as the business facilities, establishments, as well as it would add to the value of everybody's home and the value of living the quality of life in the community.
When I saw the plan that you folks have developed, I was thrilled. It's been 24 years since I was involved in acquiring the property, and I felt it was not being used to its utmost, which would be a nice clean water facility with special things for little kids. We did have Camp Daisy out there. It's still part of the project, and I think it is great that you're going to now turn this into a fine recreational facility for the people in the township. As I say, I'm thrilled. We don't need a referendum on this either. I say, bless you, go ahead, do what that plan says, and I'll endorse you 100%. I'm a Democrat, I don't see
Council members then had their turn before the vote. Councilman Joe Hudak, the lone opposing vote, objected to the project from the start. He was challenged by the crowd.
I've always watched the buck. I'm not swayed by you people. I'm going to vote no on this thing. You know why? I'm going to vote no. Because I think most of the people out there would vote for a Hudak tomorrow. What do you think of that? And that's just how I feel. I've always been an upfront guy. I've always been a leader. And I think I was elected to office 7 times. 7 times. Says, we hate your guts, Mr. Hudak, but we always vote for you.
This facility, I hope it does create jobs. I hope it can create construction jobs for people in the community. I hope it creates part-time jobs for the children to work over the summer. I think it's a great facility. It's a great idea. It's going to be a utility. It's going to make money for the, for the Recreation and Parks Department. It's going to throw money back into the facility to expand it. I think it's going to be perfect.
It's interesting to see that the Democrats support this proposal, the Republicans support this proposal. The business community has turned out tonight and support the pool. The challenged population in East Brunswick is supporting this pool. The youth of the community has spoken tonight. It was great to see that the young people turn out, the people involved in the swim team. The long-term residents support this pool, and recent residents support it. I believe it's a good project, and I support it as well. I think that maybe other townships are going to follow our lead. I've already had discussions with other councilmen in other towns, and I think their reading about this proposal in the newspaper is leading them to think about similar proposals in their own township. And I think it's great that East Brunswick can take the lead.
And then as a councilman, I can remember traveling to Florida, to Daytona Beach, to the World Water Park Conference, to speak with engineers and other communities, such as Burnett Park and another park in Gaithersburg, Maryland, that all have the same anxieties that Mr. Hudak was expressing before, but went ahead with the vision and foresight and courage to take a chance and provide something really good for the community like we're considering tonight. And those parks were successful. And they were more than just a concrete swim facility. They were more of an aquatic center, which we're producing tonight, or we're proposing tonight. And that's what it takes to be self-sustaining, so it doesn't create a burden on the taxpayers of this town. Because I, like the rest of you, I am a taxpayer too. And I don't want to spend additional tax dollars of my money to support something that isn't going to make money. But I know this facility will make money, and we'll all have a good time with it.
In addition to supporting the facility, Councilman Tom Clark proposed additional improvements to the roads around the pool.
We have for the past number of years had before the council on the capital improvement programs money to repair Dunham's Corner Road between Fern and the Parks facility down there. We've put it off from year to year, putting that money to other uses. I would propose this evening, and I think the mayor is in agreement with this, that we, with approving of this bond, this council keep in mind that when we do approve the capital budget, the $230,000 that's in that capital improvement for the repair of Dunham's Corner Road can also coincide with the improvement of this project.
Within my focus group recently, I was shocked because here we are sharpening pencils and trying to make cuts. And almost 50 out of 50, I don't remember the exact number, in the focus group said, stop worrying about the tax dollars. Stop worrying about service to this community. Stop worrying about recreational needs for our young kids and our residents. That's what you should concentrate on. Don't always think about the dollar. However, we did think about the dollar, and we have to obviously go out and we have to think about the future as well. I know this facility will be self-supporting, but you have spoken through your words that that is not always necessary to do the right thing. As Mr. LeBlanc said, you're talking about the library that wasn't self-supporting. Everybody in this room, I'm sure, is a major supporter of the library. This is a good project. I think that it has It has potential to grow. And through the leadership of the Township Council, and I have to say, the majority of the councilmen did a fantastic job in supporting this, even before knowing whether or not the residents were supportive. You have come out, did hard work, and you did a fantastic job.
Mrs. Marino, you may call the roll.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Mr. Hudak.
No.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Yes.
Mr. Riccobono.
Yes.
Mr. Zarnowski.
Yes.
Construction on the pool project could begin as early as September of this year and is hoped to be completed by Memorial Day in 1994. In other council news, in support of a resolution passed at the last action meeting, council members wore jeans for Easter Seals Dress Down Day. A representative from Easter Seals asked the council to participate in the event by wearing jeans and contributing money to the cause. The official Easter Seals Jeans Day is Friday, February 26th.
It's opening night, and hundreds of people are lined up around the JCPenney court of the Brunswick Square Mall. You can hear them talking among themselves about how early they arrived to have first shot at over 40,000 books in 30 categories. They start to reminisce about past years, where they were in line, what great treasures they found, and what an experience the whole thing is. Hi, I'm Josephine Fiamingo, and I'd like to talk to you about the East Brunswick Friends of the Library's 19th Annual Bargain Book Sale. This year, the book sale starts on March 15th from 7 to 9 p.m. and continues throughout the week from March 16th to the 21st at the Brunswick Square Mall during mall hours. Attendees who are not Friends members will be asked to pay a $1 admission fee on the first night only. Youth Services librarians will present story readings for children on March 17th and 18th at 7 and 7:30 p.m. In addition to the thousands of books, there will be video cassettes, audio cassettes, computer software, and records for sale. Prices start at 50 cents, and proceeds will benefit the library. So, what number will you be in line this year, and what stories will you swap?
Hi, I'm Dolly Vastu with an arts update for you this week, and I have with me the Executive Director of the Middlesex County Cultural and Heritage Commission, Anna Ashkenas, and I've asked Anna to join me today because there's a really great CTN Cable Television Network community service workshop series that's going to be presented on Saturday, March 27th, and it's called Lights, Camera, Action. Now, you know, we've been doing this for quite a while. This is, I think, something like its 4th year.
That's right, yes.
And you guys have really helped us because you
believe in cable television.
You believe in cable television, that's right. And also because we get some kind of a grant from all of you to do this.
Actually, this workshop day is partially funded by the State Arts Council and, of course, CTN. And it's called Lights, Camera, Action because it really is supposed to provide those that may not be terribly familiar with cable access production, really the tools that they might need to do that.
And it's not just directed at arts groups, and that I wanted to make very clear. It's for people who would like to put together educational shows, or people with museums and historical events and any kind of programming.
Oh, there's even some really great programs that are on, you know, what human service projects are
That's
around.
right. Exercise programs, anybody.
Arts.
It's really, it involves everyone.
Right. I just think that, anyone who is interested in access television and interested in cable and doing it very well and copyright and all those little pitfalls that you should know about, that's going to make the job easier for you. That's who this is for.
Yes, it is. And we do have a lot of fun. It's hands-on.
Yes.
And you get a chance to do all these fun things in front of the camera, behind the camera, to host, not to host, to be a guest. I teach one of the seminars, in the morning on how to be a host and love it. So we have so much fun at this. So I'm just urging all of you to come down. And to everybody here in East Brunswick, if you're interested, at the library, over at the reference desk in the information slot there is one of these and a little brochure, and they can fill it out and send it in, or they can call
745-4489, and that's the Cultural and Heritage Commission, and we'll help you to register. But register is really important.
Yes, it is. So there you have it. How about coming out and learning how to make your own television show, huh? See you all. Take care.
Hi, I'm Amy Fisher. I'm in the East Brunswick High School auditorium with Kathy Spadafino, who's the vocal music teacher at Churchill Junior High. Kathy, you have a special event today. Could you tell us what's happening?
Yes, we're having an East Brunswick Choral Festival for all the choruses in Hammersholt, Churchill, and the high school. We get together and we sing some selections for each other, and then we do a joint number all together. This year we're being joined by a madrigal group from Seton Hall University. We're very happy to have them, and also their director, Jeanette Heil, who is renowned through the state of New Jersey for her choral conducting.
And who are the other teachers from East Brunswick involved?
Dennis Boyle teaches at the high school, I teach at Churchill, and Kay Peck teaches at Hammersholt.
Thank you very much.
Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? I'm so glad I got my legion in town. Hallelujah, Lord. I'm so glad I got my legion in town. Glory, Lord. I'm so glad I got my legion in town. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Oh my Lord, what shall I do?
We'll have more of the Chorus Festival at the end of tonight's program.
Hi, welcome back once again to Your Pet Doctor. I'm Dolly Vaster, your host, and my co-host is...
I'm Dr. Brian Johnson from the Cranberry Veterinary Hospital in East Brunswick.
Yes, and today we're going to be discussing heartworm prevention. I had a hard time with that word. All right, what is the big deal about heartworm?
Okay, heartworm is a very serious disease. The worm itself is between 14 and 18 inches long.
Oh, it sounds
Dogs usually, if they get them, have multiples. On autopsy, found as many as 300 worms in a dog's heart. The baby worms are carried by mosquitoes. Mosquitoes in a good summer night will blow up to 40 miles. So no matter where you are, your dog is susceptible to this. Now, there is an easy way of preventing it. The trick is to check the dog first and make sure that he does not have them, because heartworm medication given to a heartworm positive dog can kill him in a very few hours. That's the big deal on testing. Now what we like to do is test all the dogs in March and April so that we can have them all on their preventative by May 1st, which is when we usually consider the mosquitoes are starting to fly.
But there's an awful lot of medicine. I know my own stuff is on year-round heart prevention, heartworm preventative.
Yes, that preventative usually will protect against other types of worms such as hookworms, roundworms, and whipworms.
Gee.
Those are the intestinal parasites. These are also important, so as long as you're going to give a medication, you may as well get the added benefit of getting rid of all, preventing at least all the worms. Now, it only has to be given for heartworms from May 1st to December 31st. However, if you want to get the additional protection of stopping the internal parasites, then you can give it year-round.
Now, you said dogs got this. Do cats get it?
Yes, they do, to a lesser degree. The mosquito really isn't particularly fussy who it bites. And as long as it's bitten a heartworm-positive dog and sucked up the microfilaria, or baby heartworms, 2 to 3 weeks ago, it will then molt in the mosquito and become infective. So if it bites a cat or dog, it will go into the new host. It will not mature in the cat as it will in the dog.
What about a human?
There have been reports where the same thing happens. The worm will not mature and go to the heart. What has happened is they form what they call coin lesions in the lungs, and it looks just like a little cyst. It has been known to go into humans, although it's not a common occurrence.
So the best thought, then, is to get the preventative.
Absolutely the best thing. It's relatively inexpensive. It gives you excellent, excellent protection, better than 99.9%. It will prevent the dog from getting the heartworms, which will in turn cause congestive heart failure and in the long run the death of the dog.
Okay, so, all right, if anyone is interested, I know you put out a booklet, and if they are interested, they could just write to you where?
Just write to the Cranberry Veterinary Hospital, 465 Cranberry Road in East Brunswick, and we'll be more than happy to send you a brochure that will explain about heartworms. It's an extremely serious thing and easy to prevent, and I strongly, strongly recommend it.
Very good. Okay, you hear all that out there? You need any more information? Call or write for a booklet, and make an appointment with a vet of your choice, and take care of your dog, maybe your cat, and yourself too in the long run. See you all next week.
Frost School students, faculty, and parents surprised retiring principal Dr. Ken Burnett with a farewell party Thursday. Dr. Burnett had a distinguished career of almost 40 years in the schools in East Brunswick. Starting as a 5th grade teacher in 1955, Dr. Burnett also served as vice principal at Hammersholt, administrator at the main office, principal at Lawrence Brook, East Brunswick High School, Memorial, Hammersholt, and finally Frost School. On Thursday, class by class, from kindergarten through the 5th grade, the children presented memory books, collections of stories, poetry, and pictures of their memories of Dr. B to the best principal in the whole world. Dr. Burnett received a number of gifts, including a Frost School t-shirt and a quilt signed by all of Frost's current students and staff. Dr. Burnett intends to retire with his wife to a home on the 17th tee of a golf course in Virginia.
We wish you a hole-in-one and perfect year-round golf weather. But most of all, we wish you would change your mind and not leave.
On a recent edition of Spotlight on Education, Superintendent of Schools Dr. John Kopko asked Dr. Burnett about what he found rewarding during his years with the district.
I think for me the most rewarding things which have happened over the years have come through the contact I've had now and then with adults who I knew as children in the district. And since I've lived in the community also for better than 30 years, I've had the opportunity to run into them sometimes 10, 15, or 25 years after my contact with them. And number one, the fact that they still recognized me and remembered me was rewarding in itself. But so often they'd say something like, gee, remember what a pain I was back there in 10th grade, or remember all the trouble I had, or do you remember doing this? And I guess the realization that I must have in some small way made a meaningful difference in that person's life has been a most rewarding thing.
What will you miss the most and what will you miss the least?
miss the most. Certainly miss the interaction with the many, many fine people. Not only the students, but the staff, the administrators, the parents I've come in contact with within the district. I think I'll miss the excitement. In fact, what will I miss least? My knee-jerk reaction, I think, was going to be some of the pressure that I've enjoyed over the years. But in some ways, I think that's one of the things I'll miss, because it has been an exciting community, and one in which there has been high demands and high expectations. There's also been the satisfaction of success, which has come from knowing you've maybe taken on a difficult job and managed to get it through.
La 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 la.